Oh dear, shit's about to go down. This is pretty dull. While the equations we're supposed to work out as a group will take a while, most of it is going to be boringly mechanical. It also doesn't help. Oh god, sorry. It also doesn't help that while that didn't go as bad as it could have, it has left an awkward atmosphere around us. Still, we manage. Shizune's face betrays that she has about the same expectations of our work as I do, and the two of us begin to write our group results. Misha, on the other hand, is scrunching up her lips and very visibly trying to make heads or tails of what we're doing. Hanako is looking on quietly, absorbing what we write and what I say. She usually has this same expression when the teacher speaks. It's a shame her attendance is so unreliable. With the way she takes in information, I think she'd do quite well in class if she actually followed the lessons regularly. I wonder if this might be why Shizune seems so hard on her. Wouldn't surprise me, probably, maybe, I don't know, leave me alone. I'm the master commander. I like to babble, leave me alone. Hey Hanako, do you understand this? Probably not. Well, I don't. It's science. Wait, she answered the question, didn't she? Yes, she did. She does, what a silly question. Misha looks to Hanako, but I suspect her hopes is more to find a comrade in ignorance rather than genuine help. I am, not really, I guess. Jesus Christ, I slurred. I'm surprised by how tense she is in answering, but she settles back down. She breathes out, and the way her upper body and head lower reminds me of a deflating balloon. Oh dear. You okay? I could go over this a bit if you want. Hanako shakes her head slightly, but then again, I don't think she needs the extra explanation despite what she said. Misha quickly interjects, entirely obvious, and I end up slowly going through how we ended up at one of our results, step by step. We're kind sometimes. Times like this remind me that this kind of work may not be mechanical for everyone, but rather feels that way to... What did I just read? But rather feels that way to me due to my grasp of the subject. It's satisfying. It's a satisfying feeling. My God, that line just destroyed my mind. As Misha brings her balled fist onto an open hand in realization, I discover another nice feeling. My explanation got through to her, and she manages to work out the next equation by herself, with a minimum of guidance. Yay! Gold star. Give that man a cookie. I'm on by how. Throughout all of this, Hanako is unusually unresponsive. She's normally very quiet, but one can still see her eyes roving periodically over the landscape of the classroom in front of her, or anxiously moving her hands in some way, or shifting her shoulders periodically. Right now, these small movements that I've gotten used to seeing are all missing. Someone not moving at all is definitely weird. Even Misha can tell there's something wrong. Shit's about to go down! Oh God! Hanako, are you sure you're okay? Yes. She's lying! Are you sure? I'm fine. A little more strongly this time, but she turns away as she says it. It only makes me doubt her answer, yet at the same time, I can tell she doesn't want to talk about it further. Having already had one very awkward conversation today that I'm still not fully over, I don't want to pursue the matter too much either. Oh God. We settle back onto our routine, debating over our answers, whenever a doubt comes up. But as time goes on, I notice that Hanako isn't talking at all. It's frustrating. She had made so much progress. It makes me a little angry at Shizune and Misha for undoing the surprise Lily had wanted to keep secret so much. I know I'm at fault too. Maybe I could have kept it under wraps somehow. Well, what did I say last time? I said you could have been doing homework, or if you were going for the I went out with Lily bit, you could have said we were shopping. But no, you have to drop the birthday bomb. Damn these three. It's like I'm the puppeteer. My god. Shizune has noticed Hanako's silence as well. Okay. And is also getting antsy. I've never seen that before. I can see it on her face. It's strange that even though she's deaf, Shizune has perceived Hanako's unusual quietness sooner than Misha. ... Hanako, you're being too quiet. You have to contribute too. Someday we might work on a bigger project, like one that's so big it's worth celebrating afterwards, like with ice cream or cake. If you act like this, we won't take you along. Oh my god, that sounded horrible. I can tell that they're trying to tease her to bring her out of her shell, but I don't think that kind of approach will work on Hanako. Wait, didn't we have a chat about all this teasingness? It will just make her feel worse. Guys, don't tease her like that. ... Hichan, it's all in good fun. Shichan says she teases everyone anyway. They do back off though, with Misha moving away from the issue by asking me a question again. On seeing how difficult the problem she is working on is, I don't know whether it was a skillful dodge or mere coincidence. Let's just go for a skillful dodge. It takes way more of our time than necessary because Shizune keeps disagreeing with me while I'm trying to explain it to Misha, and Misha is quick to believe her over me. So quick, in fact, that she forgets to translate what Shizune is saying. Dear God, saying. Hey, the clock is kinda ticking down. We should speed up a little. Hichan, you sound a little like Shichan there. Mother of God. Just because I looked at my watch. Jeez. Is that really all it takes? Time management, and suddenly I'm the student council president. Wait, what in the world just happened then? I look at Hanako's... Oh god. Yep, the heart attack music. I look at Hanako's desk to see how she's doing and freeze. Our papers are covered in equations, but Hanako's only halfway there. It seems like she hasn't written anything in the past 20 minutes. Okay. When I realize that, I want to kick myself for how dumb I've been. Okay, I think I need to kick myself because I'm feeling dumb now. What have I missed? I should have known that someone as fragile as Hanako wasn't just going to brush off what happened so easily, but I've been too eager to move on from an awkward situation to notice. She has been slowly shutting down for the last... Jesus Christ, what the hell was that? I think I nearly had a heart attack. We're back. It was my bloody phone trying to scare the shit out of me. She has been slowly shutting down for the last half hour, and I have had no clue. Her pen is still in her hand, but she doesn't slowly pin it. But she doesn't slowly spin it around like she usually does. Ah, there we are. Shut up, chair. You were quiet for the most of the time. There isn't a single idle movement from Hanako. Oh god, the face is changing. Only the fact that she tries to inch away once she feels Shizune, Misha and I looking at her tells me that she is even still conscious. We look away, and at least in my case, it's partially out of shame that it's gone to this point. Though on the outside she has shut down almost completely. I know that it's a different story on the inside. What kind of things could she be thinking about as she tries harder and harder to shrink into herself, as if by willing as if by willing it, she could somehow disappear. Get the dark portal. Everyone is looking at her now, steadily stealing quick glances in between, putting the finishing touches on their work. Nosy bastards. Misha attempts to ask her what's wrong, but that only makes the problem worse. If she weren't frozen to her seat, she would probably run out of the room right now. Oh dear God. Wait, is she crying or sweating? I can't tell. Misha... Oh God. That scared the shit out of me now. Misha's questions are loud enough to be heard throughout the entire classroom, and for a second I'm ready to snap at her, because I can only imagine how much worse it's making Hanako feel. I said worse, didn't I? Of course, if I were to do that, it would only make the situation worse. Because we'd attract attention, my God. I believe that Hanako had gotten stronger, and she has, but it wasn't enough, and I was too eager to believe it. Now she's terrified, alone in the middle of the classroom, and there's nothing I can do without drawing more attention to her. Well, just take her outside. I'm sure, just take her by the hand and just woman, with me, now. It's infuriating. Misha's worried, and even Shizune is biting her lip. None of us know how to deal with this situation, so I decide to call Muto. His judgment would probably be better than ours. I look up and manage to catch his eye, silently motioning, probably wrong, for him to come over. I want to make as little fuss about this as possible, since if there's anything that would make this worse, it's more attention being focused on her. I butchered I can tell right now. I know that Hanako can see everyone staring at our group, specifically at her, because they know that if there's a problem, it has to be her. Judgmental, nosy bastards. Everyone knows her, and it's the first thing anyone's mind would leap to. Her reputation for being a truant has marked that, Tarrant, maybe, has marked her as an unusual person, even in unusual Yamako. Who knows how many times they have stared at her before? Maybe it's because she's seen the class staring at her so much that she fears their gazes like she does, cowering from them. Oh, Mother of Lord. The time it takes Muto to walk over must be like an eternity to Hanako, and she looks as if she's about to fall over. Oh, right, we're back. Muto quietly begins to ask us what's wrong, before catching himself as he sees Hanako. Did we upset her? Don't worry. Muto bends down after calming Misha and looks intently at Hanako's face. Hiya, Kuzawa. Can I help at all? His voice is hushed and gentle. Everyone's acting so differently around Hanako now that the whole class has noticed something's wrong with her. Dear God! Hanako doesn't respond, so Muto gently rests a hand on her shoulder. Oh God. She starts shaking at his touch, but won't even look up. Hanako continues to stare into the equations on her desk, vision so unfocused that I doubt she even sees them. She is worse than before. I remember that not even an hour ago she was able to talk to him almost normally. Oh dear. Muto grimaces a bit as he stands again, and now that his expression's changed, I can see he wasn't exactly unaffected by what happened either. He takes a breath to settle himself before speaking in a very quiet voice. I'm a little impressed at how quickly he takes control of the situation. Is that it? Nothing's wrong then? That is a stupid question. Muto seems to say that to no one in particular. However, his words sound convincing enough that most of the people who were looking over to Hanako now turn away, getting back to their work. Da, 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 da. He gives a quick glance to his left and right. Several people at the desks around us are still staring curiously, but other than that, we seem to have escaped attracting too much attention. Muto notices me doing the same as him and smiles a little in his usual stilted way. I think for Ikuzawa's sake that it would be good to quickly take her somewhere away from the others. Nakai, Hakamichi, could you please take Ikuzawa out of the classroom? I'll keep everyone settled, so please don't worry about anything but her. Okay? He looks at Misha to tell her to interpret his words for Shizune, but she's already finishing her translation by the time he does so. It's remarkable how little thought she needs to sign, as she still looks quite dazed otherwise. It's like she's a magician. Nodding, Shizune and I stand and move to either side of Hanako. Muto steps back to allow us some room, and talks to the table behind us as some people there have begun to mutter between themselves about what's going on. Bastards! We look at each other before lowering ourselves in unison, whatever, I'm going to say union, taking one arm around each of our shoulders and lifting. Okay. The two of us begin to walk at a slow pace to make sure we don't inadvertently hurt her. As much as we try to make this normal, I'm quite sure there would be many more gazes on us if not for Muto's distraction. Eventually, thankfully, we reach the door and go through. Why is this music still here, and why am I seeing that ugly picture? Nobody's outside, so we walk down the hallway. It doesn't seem like it's making her more at ease than she was in the classroom. Finally, I ask if she wants to just sit down. For a while, we simply stay in place and wait for her to say something. Shizune tentatively rubs Hanako's shoulder a little, but there's no response. Eventually, she shakes her head a little when Shizune tries again. Both of us are looking at her, so we pick up on it immediately. Shizune's hand again comes to rest on Hanako's shoulder as she awakens, her face lifting to two very worried and anxious people looking at her. She looks at us silently for a while. I'm initially worried she might freak out or do something extreme, but those fears prove unwarranted as her expression slowly changes from an almost lifeless blank state to a more normal withdrawn shyness. My God, my voice is dying. She wordlessly lowers her lips. I'm going blind as well. Her head, her eyes evasively moving to the side. She looks embarrassed, almost ashamed. I want to say something, anything, to help. I can't, though. I don't really know what just happened, or even what caused it. I feel helpless and ashamed of myself for not being of any use. Shizune sighs before looking at me. Even without words, I think I can tell what she's asking. I'll take Hanako to the nurse. Is that okay by you? I tried to communicate my intentions through hand gestures, but I don't feel like I managed to get through her very well. It was probably gobbledygook. She was probably like, "The fuck are you saying?" Shizune makes a dreary face in response to my gesticulations, confirming my impression. She stabs her fingers in the air decisively, first at me, then at Hanako, and then towards the stairs. She waits for me to nod before pointing herself, then pointing at the door to the classroom. I get the feeling Shizune is much better than I am, obviously. I nod at her since her plan is after all the same as mine. Shizune gets ready to make her exit, but she only leaves after looking at Hanako for quite some time. Are you okay with me taking you to the nurse's office? Hanako doesn't say anything or nod, but she stands up in place by herself, and when I begin to walk, she obediently follows. I've read about people being catatonic before, but I think this time I'm seeing it for myself. Jesus, Mary. My God, I was right. Shit's going down.